Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
You know, it's really starting to look like Christmas. Poinsettias are everywhere, but do you know how to take care of them? We'll let you know in our first segment.
In our second segment, we're going to talk about Amaryllis and everything about them.
If you bought a Christmas tree, you know prices have increased. If you haven't, get ready. There's going to be some sticker shock. We're going to explain why the dramatic price increases have been caused by something that happened over a decade ago.
We received a text from John of Brooklyn, New York. John has a question about his roses. We'll explain in our fourth segment.
We've warned you, your lawn may turn colors when it gets cold. If this is happening to you, you have to treat your lawn differently this spring. And we'll explain why in our final segment.
So stay tuned. We'll be back in the garden right after these messages. Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Church's Garden Center and Farms, Seashore Road, Cape May, New Jersey. Collegeville Do It Best, Ridge Pike, Collegeville, Pennsylvania. County Line Nursery, Harleysville Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB, and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 a.m. WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Well, Ed, there's a few basic steps you need to know when taking care of your poinsettias at home, huh?
That's true. That's true. And you told me one time that your mom kept her poinsettia year after year after year.
After year, yeah.
That
she
is
did.
Dedication.
Yeah.
Total dedication.
Yeah, we loved it.
I think one of the first things that you need to be careful of when you have a poinsettia inside, that you can't put it in an area where it gets drafts. Like near the door is like the worst place.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people, they'll get one of those great big, 10-inch poinsettias. It's 4 foot across. They'll put it right by the entryway where people are coming in the house, so it looks great. But that cold air, every time they open that door, that cold air is killing that poinsettia. Yeah. And all of a sudden it starts to droop and the yellow leaves start forming. and it gets ugly. So make sure you don't have it in a draft. Same thing can happen with warm air too, right?
That's right.
You put it in your heat duct.
Yep, that's it.
If you have forced hot air and that's your heating method, make sure that duct is either closed or you put something over it so it blocks it, so it's not blowing on that poinsettia because they can't stand a draft.
Yeah.
What about watering? How do you water them, Julio?
Well, when I first brought mine in from Bloomers,
Hey, shameless plug.
I watered it, of course, and then what I do is I just check it on a daily basis.
Oh, well, you must have extra time.
Well, I love my plant.
Yeah. Well, it's moist but not wet, and that's always a
yeah.
challenge. And it's so many of the things. If you really want to use a quick method, is you glance at the soil surface, and the soil surface is a dark colored brown or almost even a black. You let it go, and then you let it get to a lighter brown. But it's your index finger probe. You got to whip that out, stick it in the soil. If it feels moist for the first inch down or the first even half an inch down, let it alone. Then water it when that gets dry.
Yeah. That's the key right there. You can't have it wet all the time.
Yeah. And the foil that you get around them.
Ooh, that's another problem, huh?
Either take it off, or cut a hole in the bottom and make sure that you get a saucer so that it can drain into the saucer, because those are plant killers. Mm-hmm. They hold too much water, and you think that you're doing a good thing, and you find out that how come it's dying, and it's because all the water that you're watering it with is still collecting in that foil, and it's killing your plant.
It is, yeah.
It's not good with all plants, really.
Yeah,
even some hanging baskets, there are issues with where they have the saucer, so it makes it nice, but it's still there's too much water being held around the roots, so you get root rot. Next thing is light. Now, most of you maybe not most of you, some of you know that the poinsettia flower, the red, the pink, the white, that's not a flower. They are modified leaves that are called bracts, and that the actual flower is that yellow thing that's in the center, little tiny thing. So that's the true flower, because people will say, oh, I've had my poinsettia and it's bloomed all the way into February. And it's like, well, that's not the flower. But it's all those yellow things drop out.
Yeah.
So if you give your poinsettia enough light that you can comfortably read a newspaper by, that's enough. It doesn't have to be in bright full day sun, but if there's enough light that you can read, that's enough. And it'll be fine, because again, the color is already established. It's pretty tricky to get it there, though. There's a time where the poinsettias need an absolute 16 hours of darkness in order to generate those bracts turning the correct colors. I think I tell this story every year that there was a grower that had a greenhouse range, and he was growing his poinsettia crop like always.
Right.
And the town said, hey, we're going to put in street lights.
Oh, boy.
So I was like, oh, nice. We'll see you at night. Little did he realize that those street lights completely ruined his poinsettia crop, and he missed Christmas because the poinsettias were thrown off by the street lights.
Wow, look at that.
So again, it's all about day length, and it's part of growing. But once those bracts are established in color, you don't really have to worry about them, and that they're going to stay that color. But to keep the poinsettia green and healthy, it's going to need at least enough light to read a newspaper by.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
What else, Julio? Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, like you say, my mom put it out in June, okay? And that thing grew really beautifully. I mean, yeah, it grew big. I mean, it grew taller and bigger.
We talked about last week about how they're actually weeds in Mexico, where they can get 4 or 5 feet tall. By variety, they've been changed, and again, it's hybridization.
It is, yeah,
right?
Yeah, and the colors, change. The red went away, and then the green the leaves are beautiful. Yeah,
they are because the leaves themselves are very pretty.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and don't be afraid if you start getting yellow leaves on the inside. It's basically adapting to your home environment. Just pull those out. Nobody will notice. And then it's not a big deal. The plant isn't dying.
No, it's not.
So again, overwatering and drafts are the biggest killers.
Yeah,
so
that's number one.
Yeah. Now, if you would like to bring back your poinsettia, now what's one of our favorite expressions about plants?
About that?
About whether you really want to bring back your poinsettia. They are really a bargain. Let's just put it that way, and that you can have a perfect poinsettia every year if you buy a new one. Mm-hmm. if you want to try to bring your poinsettia back, and what we're trying to get at, they're plants, not
Puppies.
right. So you have our permission to
right.
throw it out.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but again, if you want the challenge of trying to get your poinsettia to come back, there's an excellent calendar that was put out by Dr. Leonard Perry. He's a professor at the University of Vermont, and that he developed an easy-to-follow calendar based on holidays of the year.
Oh, boy.
So first one, Julio, we have what? New Year's,
Yeah,
right?
New Year's Day, yeah.
So it's
You fertilize it.
right, making sure that it has enough light. To be honest, you basically don't do anything.
Yeah, really.
All right. Then he has Valentine's Day, and you're just making sure that like white fly is a problem. It's a little tiny, and it's pure white that will be fluttering around your leaf, and that sometimes, I swear, sometimes the poinsettias come and are delivered with it, but it is probably the most, I guess, the biggest pest of poinsettias.
Yeah.
But if you've got it in your home environment, there's probably not going to be a big deal about it. St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Now here's when you start doing a little bit of work. You prune off any faded and dried parts of the plant. Get any of those leaves out from the soil. And then again, you put it in the bright, sunny spot. So now you're trying to control the day length a little bit. So you want to put it in a brighter spot. And then you go to Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Here's the fun part comes. Cut it back. 2 to 3 inches to promote it to branch out. You could probably go even a little more on a larger one. Yeah. Now, then you're going to transplant it into a larger container. And then we get to the end of June, say Father's Day. You're going to move it outside for the summer like your mom did.
Yeah, that's what she did.
So you move it outside in direct sunlight. You don't want it baking in the sun over the summer. You want it to get a little bit of shade, so it's like filtered sun. It's so confusing sometimes. Like, how much sun does it need? We say part sun. What is the difference between part sun and part shade?
Right.
Anyway, you're going to want it in there, or filtered sun, or indirect light.
Right.
You're going to want to give it light, but not where it's baking all day long. All right. You could literally, and I take it and plant the pot and all in your garden, in your soil.
Yeah.
And that you'll be surprised on how well, because again, these are a weed, in Mexico, in the Southwest, where all of a sudden they're growing on the side of the road. That's how a lot of plants start. They're attractive weeds, and all of a sudden, Proven Winners has got $1 million again.
That's right.
So moving to the 4th of July, you're going to cut back the plants again. Now, when you cut them back, what's happening is that you're getting them to branch out. And this sounds a lot like mums, where you have to do a pinch or a cut back so that you're getting it nice and full. So 4th of July, you're going to trim it, and now you move it into full sun. Why, Julio?
Well,
I'm going to stump them.
No, again, talk about the range of sunlight.
Right. Now, what happens December 22nd?
Okay. The light becomes less.
Right. We have our shortest day of the year, which means December 23rd, we start getting more sunlight.
Yeah, you love that day.
I do love that day. I love that day. I think I have that light.
Yeah, you're light sensitive.
Yeah, maybe. But the issue is the reason you go ahead and do that into full sun is now it's that daylight cycle. And you continue to water it, feed it, and that it's going to start to grow a little more. Now you've got the summer where it's in full sun and it's growing. Make sure you're keeping it watered. Now you go all the way to Labor Day. So now it's time to move it indoors, okay? And you need at least 6 hours of direct light or more. New growth will begin. Cut back on the fertilizer. Like I don't like to fertilize house plants in the wintertime. Really, even starting in the fall. You cut back, around August, you're fine.
Good.
The plants have, you don't want to try to push growth. And that's where we are with your poinsettia around Labor Day. You don't want to really push a lot of growth on it. You want it to be fuller growth, not to be, don't want it bigger, you want it fuller. So now, the fall equinox, starting near September 21st. So that's I don't know if that's on any calendars anymore. Probably. This is where the timing of the light forces the poinsettia into flower at the correct time. And again, they're not flowers, but they're bracts. So if you have a red one, a pink one, you're going to have to give it 16 hours of darkness per day. You put it in a closet, you put it in the basement. You don't want to put it in an area where the lights are going on and off. You want it to be in complete darkness. Now, those of you, I give you credit, and I'd like to hear from you. Call the hotline. Let us know if you can get your poinsettia to come back. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be great. I mean, it's
Dedication.
not easy
No,
to be able to get it timed right.
That's right.
I mean, granted, people that are growing them by the thousands or hundreds of thousands that, they have an incentive because they're going to sell them. But for like a homeowner to do it, it's rough.
Oh, yeah.
It's rough.
It's not easy.
I guess you could cover it, but if you forget that you cover it once, you can screw that whole cycle up. So put it, you need to bring it out, set your phone, again, 16 hours light and dark.
Right. That's easy.
Temperature is going to be, they like it pretty cool. So if you've got a cooler area, 60-degree range, even in the fall, we've got those temperatures, but you're trying to control the light transmission. Right. Now, Thanksgiving. Here you go. You get some time off. Now it's just put it in the sun to where it's getting at least 6 hours direct sunlight and just take care of it. And before you know it, all of a sudden your poinsettia will start to color up. So if you want a copy of this, you can contact the hotline, and we'll give you a link to where we have it online. All right?
Yeah, that's pretty neat, isn't it?
Very cool.
Yeah, I like
very
that.
cool.
I
like the way that Dr. Perry put it, where it's not by date.
Yeah, it isn't.
Per se. It's by holiday, so it's easier to follow.
It is, and you can go do that.
Yeah, everybody knows it's it's going to be Thanksgiving.
Boom,
it's going to be Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July.
Day, yeah.
All right.
Cool.
All right. We've got to. We went long, so we got to take a break. We'll be right back right after this. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Some of our most frequent questions revolve around organic container gardening for houseplants, annuals, and of course, vegetables. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend Organic Potting Soil is a lightweight soil mixture made with salmon, blueberry, lobster, and other composts, as well as calcium and chitin-rich lobster shells, sphagnum peat, perlite, and kelp meal. It is a great soil. And Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Organic Potting Soil is rich in organic material, creating lush, disease-resistant plants that require less watering, less feeding. Its rich, dark brown color provides the perfect balance between water retention and drainage needed for healthy plants. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend Organic Potting Soil is available at these local retailers.
Tony's Farm and Garden, Windsor, New Jersey. Espen Shades Garden Centers and Greenhouse, Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Pickering Valley Feed and Farm, Exton, Pennsylvania.
Your next houseplant is waiting for you in Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse. Bloomers recognizes that houseplant choices are as important to your interior decorating as the fabric on your couch. The right plant, paired with the perfect container, can bring a dynamic change to your home. A houseplant brings life to your world and connects your home's interior to the greater outdoors. Even a small succulent placed on your coffee table has a way of connecting your living room to the Amazon rainforest. How about an air plant in your kitchen? Looking for an indoor flowering plant to add color to your plant palette? Bloomers has a large revolving assortment of flowering beauties. From aglaonemas to ZZ plants, Bloomers Greenhouse is stocked with your next favorite indoor plant. Bloomers carries a large selection of pottery and containers to match your home's decor and make any of your plants more beautiful. Bloomers experts can help you care for your plants and have the fertilizer, insecticides, leaf shine, and specialty soils you need to grow healthy and happy indoor plants. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse and make every room in your home a living room. Visit bloomers.com for more information. That's bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB, and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 a.m. WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden. Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Julio, one of my plants when I was a youngster that I fell in love with was Amaryllis.
No kidding.
Amaryllis, those of you that don't know, they look very tropical, very tall. Leaves are kind of like straps. They look like straps. The leaves aren't, it's not really foliage, but the flower, my goodness, the flower is gigantic, bigger than your hand, and it has that trumpet shape. Very beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
And little did I know that it actually has been around for a very, very long time. The energy that's needed to produce a flower on an amaryllis bulb is already in the bulb. Right. So those of you that want something easy or want a good gift, you know, everybody's got poinsettias, but not everybody has an amaryllis.
No, they don't.
So it makes a great gift.
It does.
Now, the amaryllis story goes all back to Greek mythology.
Way back when.
Yeah, a poem by Virgil, and the flower's named for a shepherdess. So actually, Amaryllis was a shepherdess, who fell in love with a gardener.
Oh, how about that?
And so I guess she's kind of strange because this shepherdess, Amaryllis, she walked to his door every day for a month, and that she pierced her own heart with a golden arrow, and the blood from Amaryllis' heart created basically a path of amaryllis flowers to his door.
How about that? Because she was in love with this guy.
Yeah. Hey.
How about that?
I don't suggest anyone do that, but again, that's pretty dramatic, though.
It is pretty dramatic.
Victorian times, we give roses for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we did.
Amaryllis, was most commonly given as a demonstration of love from a man to a woman that he admired.
Oh, look at that.
And the red was meant to symbolize her radiant beauty, and perhaps that's why Amaryllis really does the same thing today, where it's beauty, and it just is, again, it's another type of way. And again, they're going back to, we're going back to not too recent. It's not Greek mythology, right? So it's going back, I don't know, 100 years or so, Victorian times. That's Queen Victoria's. In some, it's not like ancient history.
No.
All right, some of you out there it might be, but it's pretty interesting to think that it was. We never hear that now.
No, we don't.
No, it's Amaryllis. You hear at Christmas time.
That's it.
But where again, it was given year round as something that you would give to your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's beautiful.
On that same note, size matters.
That's right.
Julio,
the size of the bulb matters.
The size of the bulb absolutely matters. There are grades in bulbs, and I don't care if it's a tulip bulb or a daffodil bulb, that they actually have a size range. Where your discount shops, Home Depot, or other stores like that will basically try to get a cheaper bulb that they can sell at a good price while still holding on that it's going to produce something. Your local independent garden centers, on the other hand, they will get the largest bulbs possible, so you're guaranteed success. I know that I get customers come in and they say, it's like, I planted tulip bulbs in the fall and they're all leaves. How come they didn't come in? And it's because they went and they bought their bulbs either online or they bought them someplace, and that they are a smaller size and that they didn't produce any flowers. So again, independent garden centers are going to ensure that you get amaryllis that are going to flower, and that they will actually some of them will actually have buds on them.
new thing that's been out the last few years is that they actually are taking Amaryllis and they're dipping the bulb in wax. It's amazing that this can happen. It's in wax, so it doesn't need to be watered.
No soil, huh?
No soil.
Right.
There's like this little spring. It looks like a spring on the bottom.
Right.
So you can adjust, like tilt it one way or the other. And that the flowers will bud up out of that wax bulb. And it really needs no care. If you have like a really dry house and that you just got to keep an eye on it, just to consider maybe misting it or maybe run it under the faucet just to get it some moisture. But for the most part, it encapsulated. It's like, so what do we always talk about? What is it's a quiz to Julio. Question.
Quizzo.
What do you spray your evergreens with at this time of the year to keep them moist?
Wilt stop.
Wilt stop. Yeah. And what it does is it encapsulates the moisture in the needles.
Right.
In that same way, that wax encapsulates the moisture in the Amaryllis bulb so that it has enough moisture to grow and become that flower. Now, I'm going to try one this year.
Are you?
I'm going to figure out how do I get it to stand up straight
Really?
because the flower's bigger than the bulb.
Yeah, it is.
You know, maybe it's I don't know. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see. They're pretty exciting because the wax is not just clear. The wax is either red or it's very Christmassy. So I'm going to give that a try.
Yeah, you're going to feel weird because you won't have to water it.
Oh, I know. It's like talk about something easy.
I know. Oh, it's too easy.
Yeah, it is. Now, not so easy is getting Amaryllis to rebloom each year. So what do you do? I'm going to do it quick. And if you want to hear it again, please contact us on the hotline, 609-685-1880, and we'll make sure that we get you the information so that you can try it and get your Amaryllis to rebloom. So, okay, step one. When it's done blooming, you cut the flower stalk down about an inch above where the bulb is. Mm-hmm. And you start treating it like a house plant. You leave the leaves on and you just let it get decent sunlight. And you've got to wait all the way around to like mid-August. And then you're going to want to force it into dormancy by stopping any care at all. You're going to let it go dry out, and you're going to let it go dormant. The leaves are going to dry up. It's going to look dead. Yeah. But you're going to cut the leaves off, and then you're going to store it in a cool, dark place for about 2 months. Mm-hmm. I found my Amaryllis the other day from last year.
Did you?
I forgot this part. About 8 weeks before you want to see it bloom again, you move it into a warm and bright spot, and you start watering it again. Right. That's the part I forgot.
You forgot that one?
Yeah, I forgot. So my Amaryllis is dried out.
Dried up?
Yeah, I threw it away yesterday.
Right. Okay.
Couple weeks, you'll see it start to sprout again through the middle. Mm-hmm. Flower stalks will appear after that, and you just want to take care of it like you did before. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want this information, we'll be more than happy to get it to you, but please contact us on the hotline. Amaryllis are beautiful. The colors are amazing. The reds, the whites, the pinks, there's doubles. So go to your local garden center and pick one up, even if you just keep it for yourself. Mm-hmm. It is just a stunning thing to see, and it's really, when it's dark and it's cold in the winter, it makes you feel real good, like tropical. And I like that. I love Amaryllis.
Yeah, and try that wax one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah? We'll give a review of it.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. We've got to take a break. We'll be right back in the garden right after this.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and eco-peat. Eco-peat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior, professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Green Acres Nursery and Garden Center, West County Line Road, Colmar, Pennsylvania. Urban's Garden Center, Chestnut Street, Emmis, Pennsylvania. Laurel Oak Garden Center, Thompson Mill Road, Marlton, New Jersey. The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomer's Home and Garden Center is dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds. We carry a flock of feeders like the Brome Squirrel-Proof Feeder, which has a lifetime guarantee. Brome makes fantastic feeders for frustrating squirrels and feeding songbirds. Bloomer's Bird Sanctuary has a vast selection of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. We carry Lyric, Coles, C&S, Pine Tree Farms, and our own line called Bloomer's Blend. Bloomer's Blend Songbird Magnet contains premium black oil sunflower, peanut splits, millet, safflower, and tree nuts. It's sure to attract the most colorful songbirds to your yard. Bloomer's Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey. Visit us online at www.bloomers.com. When you come in, ask for Shirley Spurbeck, Bloomer's Wild Bird Specialist. Mention you heard it on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, and we'll give you $10 off a 20-pound bag of Bloomer's Blend Songbird Magnet Mix. You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies 1250 AM WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Well, everybody out there who's looking at trees and going out to buy them, well, this Christmas tree market is crazy. You may have seen a significant increase in prices and reduction in availability. And this problem didn't just happen overnight, did it, Len?
No. Okay, everybody. We're going in the Wayback Machine.
Way back.
It takes about 10 to 15 years to grow a Christmas tree. What was happening 10 to 15 years ago, Julio?
Ooh, that was 2008 around there. That crash in the market.
It was real estate. Real estate took a tumble that killed the stock market. And people think of farmers as being like these really, nice guys, like wearing overalls. And honestly, everybody, the farmers are the best businessmen on the planet. Yeah. Okay. They have to regulate crops. It takes, again, that long, 10 to 15 years. So the trees that were supposed to be harvested for this Christmas were supposed to be planted back when the financial crisis was at its peak.
Right.
It was an awful time. Mm-hmm. It was an awful time, and that where a lot of times the garden industry and the nursery industry can take a regular recession, but the Great Recession was different because the value of their land went down, and that you never hear that. I mean, the best investment is brick and mortar, right? That it's that it's land and it's property.
Sure.
But where the equity that farmers have is in their land, so sometimes that they need to buy equipment or upgrade or do certain things that they need to take basically like a home equity loan. Mm-hmm. Any of you out there that had a house during that time, some of you, we've all heard the I guess they called it being underwater. Right. Like, oh, you're underwater in your mortgage. Mm-hmm. And that basically, for those of you that know, I'm sorry, but those of you that don't, it means that the value of your property is less than the mortgage value. And in the business world, if that happens, you need to make up that difference.
And a lot of the farmers and a lot of, people that have invested in property, whether it's, you always hear it's like, oh, well, doctors and lawyers own those farms and they have tenant farmers. What happens is that some of those people that did it at investment say, you know what, the value's dropping, we have to sell. Properties got sold. And more importantly, Christmas trees did not get planted. So the trees that you're supposed to be buying today aren't around. They just don't exist. Mm-hmm. And that not all farms, most farms buy cuttings or buy seedlings and plant the seedlings in the ground. Right. They're not making seedlings themselves or not rooting cuttings. Mm-hmm. But what happened is that so the seedlings never got purchased. Then the production from the seedling companies went down. And this is why we're going to see probably about a 3-year issue where the prices of trees are going to be high and the availability is going to be low.
So get used to it for a few more years.
Hey, I had been at a Christmas tree auction in 2009, and the trees were selling for unbelievable prices because what was happening, farmers just sold off everything.
Wow.
They sold off everything. Wow. And it felt great, but I knew we were going to have to pay because those farms that were clear cut just to generate cash to survive, they were going to need to replant. And that there was going to be trees that were missing. So, it's like, wow, we bought Fraser fir for $5.
Not today.
Yeah, no, I can't even find a Fraser fir that's bigger than 8 feet.
Right.
And the problem with that is that it's going to be around. The trees take 10 to 15 years to get to the 7 to 8 foot, but yet people want they pay $50 for a tree. They're like, oh, what a ripoff. It pisses me off because a tree or anything that has a production time in decades. And it's $50. Like, all right, how about your new iPhone? The new iPhone is $1,200.
I know. That's
how fast can they make a new iPhone?
Oh, quick.
Granted, I get the technology. I get it. I get all that stuff. But you compare it to a Christmas tree that needs to be sprayed, that needs to be sheared, that needs care.
Right, fed and all that.
And that the amount, though, you environmentalists out there, you listening? Christmas tree farms produce more oxygen and are more green than anybody who just uses recycled cardboard. I mean, that in itself, is better for our country. So spending $100 for a tree that took 15 years to grow is not asking a whole lot.
No, it isn't.
It's not asking a whole lot. No. So, when you're out there, good luck finding a tree. And just look. A tree for $30 is just wrong. Okay? It's just wrong. I don't know. Anyway, favor your local garden centers because they are buying from family farms. They are not buying from truck farms or corporate farms. It's important that they cut your own places. I mean, I have a very good competitor near me called Exley's. They are a family spot. Their trees are good. I mean, they're going to be either spruce or Douglas fir. I'm shooting them a plug, but to be honest, they do a nice job. But you're going to pay. They're going to pay, because they are true professionals. So I don't know. I just, again, it's caught up with us. I think that the higher prices are here to stay. And I ask that you favor people that are permanently there, not tent places or, a guy that's there for 2 weeks. Favor the people that are there year round because they are your community and that they are paying the real estate taxes and they are the ones that are actually they're members of the community. They're your neighbors. You sit next to them in church. Your kids go to school together.
Friends.
Favor those folks.
Sure.
Home Depot and Lowe's, they're monsters. But I've been told by suppliers that they're going to be out.
Yeah,
that's
right.
And again, it's their money goes back to Georgia, or it goes back to North Carolina, Walmart, it goes back to Arkansas.
It doesn't stay local.
It's not local like your family businesses. So again, go to your family businesses, pay a little more, but again, you're supporting your neighbor.
Yeah.
All right.
Amen.
I'm still on my soapbox.
Yes, you
Julio,
are.
you want to hop on? Do you want anything to say?
No, I feel for you.
All right. Don't feel for me, but what I feel is for those farmers that had to clear cut all of
That's right.
their farms and now are trying to catch up.
Catch up to it, yeah. Not easy.
All right, we'll be back in the garden right after this.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Your next houseplant is waiting for you in Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse. Bloomers recognizes that houseplant choices are as important to your interior decorating as the fabric on your couch. The right plant, paired with the perfect container, can bring a dynamic change to your home. A houseplant brings life to your world and connects your home's interior to the greater outdoors. Even a small succulent placed on your coffee table has a way of connecting your living room to the Amazon rainforest. How about an air plant in your kitchen? Looking for an indoor flowering plant to add color to your plant palette? Bloomers has a large revolving assortment of flowering beauties. From aglaonemas to ZZ plants, Bloomers Greenhouse is stocked with your next favorite indoor plant. Bloomers carries a large selection of pottery and containers to match your home's decor and make any of your plants more beautiful. Bloomers experts can help you care for your plants and have the fertilizer, insecticides, leaf shine, and specialty soils you need to grow healthy and happy indoor plants. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center's greenhouse and make every room in your home a living room. Visit bloomers.com for more information. That's bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with the #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 a.m. WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Hey, we received a text from John of Brooklyn, New York, and John had questions about roses. Here's what he texted. Hello, I have roses, but with thorns on them. No comment. Is this a different species of the red flower? Because of that, I believe I purchased it at Lowe's last year in one of those little flower pots and planted it in my backyard. Well, why do they have these annoying thorns, which are dangerous to handle for my fingers? Thank you. By the way, you guys are doing a great job, and I listen in Brooklyn on WMTR.
Oh,
thank you,
thank
John.
you, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
Julio, you talked to John.
Yes, I did, yeah.
What did he say?
Yeah, he said that his rose had a lot of thorns even at the top of the stem.
Right. And you mentioned rose rosette disease.
Yeah, I did. And I asked him about, what color is your rose, the leaves and then stems and things like that. He said it was kind of yellowish rosy.
Yellowish rosy.
So I kind of thought maybe that could be it. It's hard to really tell.
Rose rosette's a virus that gets into roses, and there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You really should rip it out, or else those other roses are going to have it.
Right.
There are roses that just by breeding have more thorns. Like there's a new one that's we talked about this summer. Mm-hmm. Proven Winners Urban Legend is grown specifically. It's pretty flower, but it's grown for the thorns as a security shrub in urban environments, like to control people from like going under windows or doing anything. Because those thorns are nasty.
Yeah, right.
And it's not like you're going to step them down or they're going to go up your pants leg and you're going to end up with, a mess. So you're never going back there.
No.
So it might be that. Otherwise, it could be a miniature rose that he took from the Lowe's, actual houseplant section and put it in. And that those are a little more thorny.
Right.
But it's hard to say.
Yeah. It just depends on the variety, like you said.
So is he going to leave it in or is he going to take it out?
Well, I think he's going to take it out.
He's going to take it out?
Yeah.
That's best. Because if it's rose rosette, it'll go through all of his roses.
Yeah, that's what I said to him. He said, oh, boy.
Yeah. So
better be safe than sorry.
Yeah. But again, he's got a T-shirt coming, right?
That's right. He's got a T-shirt coming.
All right. If you call Bloomer's hotline, 609-685-1880, and we put your question on the air, you will get a free T-shirt. All right. Going to break. We'll be right back right after this.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers T-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Some of our most frequent questions revolve around organic container gardening for houseplants, annuals, and of course, vegetables. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend organic potting soil is a lightweight soil mixture made with salmon, blueberry, lobster, and other composts, as well as calcium and chitin-rich lobster shells, sphagnum peat, perlite, and kelp meal. It is a great soil. And Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor organic potting soil is rich in organic material, creating lush, disease-resistant plants that require less watering, less feeding. Its rich, dark brown color provides the perfect balance between water retention and drainage needed for healthy plants. Coast of Maine's Bar Harbor Blend organic potting soil is available at these local retailers.
Staffers of Kissel Hill Home and Garden Store, Roristown, Pennsylvania. Ashcombe Farm and Greenhouses, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Pickering Valley Feed and Farm, Exton, Pennsylvania. Dreaming of a gorgeous garden? Give your azaleas, rhododendron, blueberries, and evergreens a powerful boost with the #1 acid-loving plant food, Espoma Organic Hollytone. Hollytone is a perfect blend of natural, long-lasting ingredients that nourish plants for stronger roots, faster growth, and bountiful blooms. Plus, it's easy to use and safe for people, pets, and planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you and helpful gardening tips. Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 a.m. WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden.
Welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. Well, everybody out there, is your lawn turning colors? If this is happening to you, you have weeds, not grass.
Yeah, it's true. Well, Julio, my Zoe's your friend.
Oh, I know. I don't.
Yours is turning brown.
It is.
It's all brown, right?
It's all brown. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you consider it a weed, or do you consider it just brown grass?
A weed.
Weed. All right. All right. But the other thing is, if you have, like, say, a purple tinge to your lawn, it's more than likely crabgrass. So what's the point? If your lawn is turning green and it isn't that, say, I mean, some of the grasses can get a little yellowish if you didn't fertilize it. But when you see it turning colors like purples and pinks and that where it's just dying out in sections, you could have sedge, you could have crabgrass, but the point is that dead plant is dropping its seed and it's going to regerminate in the spring. If you want to fill those sections in, you're going to have to seed and you're going to have to put down the correct crabgrass control that can distinguish between a grass seed and a crabgrass seed. So it'll prevent the crabgrass seed from coming up, but it will allow the regular grass seed. So just remember, if you see that color change in your lawn, and it's pretty dramatic in sections, that you're going to have to reseed, but you have to make sure that you put the correct crabgrass control down, or else you may have just bare spots. Bare spots. So you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
We'll remind you, certainly in March, but again, just right now, pay attention to your lawn, and if you've got different colors, that means that you've got weeds that are dying and that they were just annuals. And where they're dying, they're dropping their seeds and they're hitting the soil and they're waiting to germinate to invade your lawn again in the spring.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's just something to look at. So walk around, take a look at your backyard and your front yard and see what you got. And
that's right.
You got to take care of it in spring.
Yep.
All right. Anything to add, Julio?
No, I think everything's...
Zoe's your man?
Yeah, I know. I love it.
You do love it? No, you just heard it. All right, we'll be right back in the garden right after this.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. The Bird Sanctuary at Bloomers Home and Garden Center is dedicated to the care and feeding of wild birds. We carry a flock of feeders like the Brome Squirrel-Proof Feeder, which has a lifetime guarantee. Brome makes fantastic feeders for frustrating squirrels and feeding songbirds. Bloomers Bird Sanctuary has a vast selection of wild bird seed, suet, seed cakes, and mealworms. We carry Lyric, Coles, C&S, Pine Tree Farms, and our own line called Bloomers Blend. Bloomers Blend Songbird Magnet contains premium black oil sunflower, peanut splits, millet, safflower, and tree nuts. It's sure to attract the most colorful songbirds to your yard. Bloomers Home and Garden Center is located in Washington Township in Gloucester County, New Jersey. Visit us online at www.bloomers.com. When you come in, ask for Shirley Spurbeck, Bloomers Wild Bird Specialist. Mention you heard it on Bloomers in the Garden Radio, and we'll give you $10 off a 20-pound bag of Bloomers Blend Songbird Magnet Mix.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
You're listening to Bloomers in the Garden Radio. Listen anytime through your favorite podcast provider or hear us on the radio each weekend. Every Saturday morning, Bloomers in the Garden Radio is heard in Philadelphia and throughout the whole Delaware Valley, first at 8 a.m. on Talk 860 WWDB, and again at 9 a.m. on AM 800 WTMR. On Sunday at 8 a.m., we can be heard through the New York tri-state area on Classic Oldies, 1250 a.m. WMTR. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the garden.
See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Me and Julio down by the schoolyard. We've been in the tree yard lately.
I know, really?
Yeah. I can't tell you enough about going in favor in your local garden center, about buying your trees there. we didn't mention, we talked about the financial crisis was when they should have been planted, but the farmers had to clear cut a lot of their fields to get cash together. They couldn't afford to replant. So we're in this cycle for a while. But also, you remember the drought we had in Oregon?
Sure. Yeah.
So there's one whole state with that drought that at the time we were talking about, we were trying to get Japanese maples, but all the leaves were burned. They weren't killed, but they were set back. So that all Oregon Christmas trees, a lot of them are damaged. So that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
goodness.
And everybody
Perfect storm, right?
How everybody says it's like, oh well, I think we're gonna maybe move to North Carolina. I hate hearing that because that means that they're probably gonna buy a place on a beautiful that used to be a Christmas tree farm, and now there's less Fraser fir going to be available. But again, it's your local garden center. It's your local places that are there year round. Sure. Favor them because a lot of them, this is their last shot at any income for a while until they get to spring. So, and again, they are your neighbors, and that they're truly your family businesses. So favor those guys, and that I know they appreciate it just like us. We appreciate it too. Yeah. Anything you want to add, Julio?
Yeah, if you're close by, come by and visit Bloomers in the Garden. Len and I are going to be there. It's beautiful in the greenhouse. We have the most beautiful colors of poinsettias you can imagine.
They are. There's that new variety that looks, it's very strange. It's like a bright, like summertime pink.
Pink, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's pretty neat looking.
Very cool. Yeah. But again, it is a great time of year, and you never feel more Christmassy than when you're visiting your local garden center.
Yeah. And let them, when you visit your garden center close by or greenhouse, just let them know you listen to Bloomers in the Garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Please let them know that you listen to us, and we appreciate all of you out there.
We do.
Brett, great job today.
Great job, Brett.
He's bouncing between two different shows. You're pretty good.
Yeah, he is.
Do we get our show half price because you're actually doing two different things? Anyway. All right, Brett. Our man Brett in the background.
There you go.
All right, Brett. We'll see you next week. We'll see you all next week right here in the garden.
We'll see you in the garden.